Well, welcome back, Air Gunners. This is Zach from the Shooter Zone, where we are always staying on target. All right, got another one from P2P, Prepared to Protect. This is the HDX 68, which means 68 caliber. And I've already done kind of an unboxing video. I'll put a link down below for that. So I just want to kind of run through this very quick. So when you get this, it'll basically be in the box like this. Right, you have a little release right here. That just slides right off. It'll come with this. It won't come with any CO2 cartridges, but it does take the 88 gram and the 12 gram. Depending on what you want to use, you could screw the 88 directly into the back. You could use 2 of the 12 gram in this right here, which screws into the back. And usually you could also just use one of these. You have to put 2 of them in there, but you put one that's empty and one that's full. If you just want to take a handful of shots, that typically works out. Only comes with 25 68 grain balls, so keep that in mind. You're going to want to get some other ones because you're going to want to shoot this quite a bit, especially at first. Alright, so let me just kind of run through this quick. When you first get it, just make sure everything's tight. The front sight was a little bit loose, excuse me. The rear, I just made sure that was tight, so just tighten that down. Don't over tighten it because this is just plastic right here. Now this is made with a combination of plastics. Obviously everything in orange is a plastic, but then everything else appears to be metal of some sort, and probably just stamped metal. But this thing weighs quite a bit. It's not light. I mean, it weighs about as much as a regular shotgun, if you ask me. So this is what we're going to do. First, we're going to put the CO2 cartridges in. So it tells you right here, you have a little diagram, which way each of the CO2 cartridges is going to go. I like putting a little bit of oil on all the threads and the O-rings, just a little bit, because anytime you have 2 different metals brushing together, it's just a good idea to do that. I'm going to use the 12 grams. I always take a little bit of super lube. This is silicone oil, just to put a little bit on the end of each of these. Alright. So you'll see the small tip that goes in. Then you put them butt end together so the tip is facing out. So each tip is facing the opposite direction. I'm going to take this end cap and screw it back on all the way. There is a little tool here for removing it. You want to make sure when you try to remove this and unscrew this end that you've discharged it all the way. So just take a bunch of shots with it and let it expel whatever CO2 is remaining in here out of it. Alright, then we're going to take this and we're just going to screw it in. Just snug, you don't have to go crazy. Then this goes back on. Alright, then on this side, right in here, you're going to have a little piece you pull out. When you cock this, you have to have the trigger pulled all the way in. Then you could open it up. When you open it up, you'll see a little arrow, right? And this little arrow points up. And you fit this little piece of plastic in here. And what that does is kind of creates this little channel to feed the balls in. Now, I've already shot a bunch of these out of the 25. So you take each one, push it down in there. Hold 16. put 10 in. Had 11 left. Alright, then after you put that last ball in there, you could pull out this piece of plastic. And you could insert that back into here. Don't want to lose that. Then you could rack that in. And that's pretty much it. It's ready to go. Wipe the oil and grease off your fingers. It's always a good thing to do. Trigger is a little bit heavy on this, so you kind of, you got to get used to it like anything. So what we're going to do is this. I have a kind of quarter-size silhouette, and that's 25 feet away. So I'm just going to unload these 10 rounds onto there. Just so you know, in my earlier testing, these balls weigh 3 grams a piece, not grains, grams. And top FPS, feet per second, was 460. Now that comes out to about 29 joules, if I'm not mistaken. You could check my math on that. And it's rated at 24 joules, so 5 more joules, that's pretty good. And that should come out to over 21 foot-pounds of energy. So that's pretty darn good, right? 21 foot-pounds of energy. If you're talking a 22, which obviously this is not a 22, but if you're talking 22, I mean, you could take rabbit, squirrels, those size animals. So this has a little bit of a punch to it. I haven't had anybody ever tell me they want to stand in front of it, and I don't suggest anybody stand in front of it unless obviously that person standing in front of it is someone where you need to use this. Alright, so this is what we're going to do. I'm going to turn on the camera quick for the target, and then we'll just unload 10 of these balls onto that, and we'll see how it does. Alright, we got 10 shots in this. Now the last thing you have to do before you get ready to fire is, like on all of these, there's a little button right here. You have to charge that, piercing the CO2 capsules, and then you're ready to go. The sights on these are pretty nice. This should be the last one. Alright. Yes, it's empty. Alright, so again, that's a quarter-size silhouette. Like anything, again, it does take a little bit to get used to the trigger. It does take a little bit to get used to the sights. Also on this, again, you have a long rail on top to mount any kind of sight you want. You have M-locks on the side. Another Picatinny rail on the bottom. Sling attachments on both sides. So this thing is pretty set up and ready to go. Alright, I think we hit it. We didn't miss any. That's a plus. Again, you can see a couple were a little bit low, and that's me getting used to the sights and the trigger. So the more rounds you put through this, the better you're apt to stay on your center mass target. Alright, till next time. Shoot lots, be safe, and we'll see you again soon. Take care now.